Yeah, your heart goes out to those graduates. Let's get more insight now into the class of 2024. Joining us to talk about this is Santosh Rao, partner and head of research at Manhattan Venture Partners. Thanks very much for taking time.
Thank you.
Look, you know, every graduating class, everyone from way before I graduated on, has some kind of difficulty to contend with. But man, the people in 2024, first it was the pandemic when they were in high school, now massive protests. Can you blame them that they just want normality and a steady income and life to get back to normal?
Absolutely. I think this is very unfortunate. And those are big events, you know, you work for them. You don't really work for them, but that's a natural culmination of hard work. And I feel for them. Before it was COVID, and now it's this. So very unfortunate. I think on this one, I think, of course, there's always the fear of getting a job and all those things that go along with graduation. So the last thing they needed was this kind of disruption. So I think the Ivy Leagues, a little bit of their reputation has been dented. Only for accepting all this violence, this anti-Semitism, and allowing this to go this far, this whole thing. I think definitely that the benefit of doubt that the Ivy League students get, I think that's not going to be automatic. They will have to prove that they were not arrested, they didn't violate the laws, they were not anti-Semitic, there was no hate speech, they didn't involve. I think that's the main thing. Not everybody's going to get impacted, but definitely a big cohort that really involved got very violent and disrupted the law. That get affected.
Absolutely. And Axios has dubbed this class, I hate to say it, the bummer class 2024. Do you think that's a bit harsh, or I mean, it really speaks to what's going on?
Exactly, it speaks to what's going on. It's just, it just feels. I mean, this generation. Let's go back a little bit at a very high level. I think a good percentage, roughly half, I think 45% of the cohort 18 to 35, they're looking for a meaning in life. They're looking for, so in essential, there was a rebels waiting for a cause, essentially. And this fell in their lap. So, and the visuals are horrible, so they had every right to protest, and no one's stopping them. But I think this went too far, and I think kind of dented other students as well, even though they didn't get involved in that. They were professional disruptors here. Absolutely. And they kind of polluted the whole environment.
Do you believe that universities really did enough to balance demonstrations with these planned ceremonies? Because that one well-spoken young gentleman, before we came to you, said, look, they ran everybody off, basically saying, we want to do this so we can have our graduation ceremony so the students can walk. And it's also a big deal for the parents who shelled out a ton of money to get those kids through school.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a big disappointment there. But I think the colleges were worried that at this point, now it just seems like it could have gone easily. But at that point, it would look like it was going to escalate more and more. So I think they did the right thing to cut their losses and say, you know what, that's it. We don't want any more. Just the PR of this, the visuals of this was getting very bad. So I think they did the right thing in that sense. But unfortunate for the kids, for all the students, they had to put up with this. But it's par for the course when you have so much disruption and something anti-Semitism that was really boiling and coming out, and that was really bad. And for them, for the students, and for the future generations as well, where kids getting scared to apply to colleges, go to colleges, that's not allowed. That's way beyond the pale. I think that's what happened. So they had to contain it, cut the losses, keep it in the lane, and just keep it in control.
So these kids not only walking away with a cap and gown, they're also have a chip on their shoulder. You can see how one's political views and their take on social media is going to be affected by the turbulent 4 or 5 years that they just endured.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's going to stay there for a long time, and it's going to. What's happening is now it's just feeding off itself. They really have no control over the political situation there. But I think the colleges are getting unfairly hit. The students here are unfairly getting hit. I think there's a big political element to this. It's not just pure student demonstrations like in the past. It's more than that. So I think a lot of professionalism. Unfortunately, it's going to stay with them for a long time. It's going to carry to work. And some employers have already said they don't want anyone who participated in this or showed any signs of anti-Semitism. So I think all that is going to have a spillover effect, domino effect. So it's going to take 4 or 5 years before the dust settles and tempers cool down.
And let's talk about the overwhelming majority of kids who weren't involved in this. Surveys are showing what they want right now is stability. They want a steady job, they want a steady paycheck. And I was actually surprised to see that a significant percentage, larger than in the past, of these students want to move to Washington, D.C. and work for the government in the tech sector, because that's something that they can basically count on.
Yeah, that's what they want, stability in the face of an environment, in an economy that's slowing down. They see all these signs of layoffs and all that. They're coming with one leg up on others because they're coming from Ivy Leagues and other places, reputed colleges, so they get a first look. And that first look may not happen because now they don't know. And one strike against the Ivy Leagues, they have become very liberal, according to some reports. There's not enough teaching is going on, or awareness is going on about acceptance and Semitism and all that. So I think all that has to step up a little more. So a lot of things going on at this point, a lot of moving targets. Unfortunately, the kids, the graduating students are in the middle of it. Second time around, there's COVID now, and they're going the 4 years back, and now it's this. Hopefully, it'll settle down.
Yeah.
But I think even the colleges may have learned a lesson on how to really get more proactive and stop it and nip it in the bud, and not let it simmer for too long, which is what they did.
And here's to hoping for some smooth sledding for these students for the next several years. Santosh Rao, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate your time.
Thank you.